The budget enthusiast. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, the budget enthusiast, and today we're going to talk about the Batman. So, the Batman is the latest of the many Batman movies that have been out before, from Adam West on up to Christian Bale. So now we have Robert Pattinson playing Batman slash Bruce Wayne in this particular movie. Now, this one is different from a lot of the other Batman movies because it's actually a detective film. It's like a crime drama. Now, a lot of people will say that the Christopher Nolan's ones were crime dramas. I don't feel that it falls in the same category because the Christopher Nolan ones were definitely, they had more crime to them than some of the other Batman movies, but it really wasn't like this one. This particular one is definitely a crime noir type movie. It's a lot of detective work. It's a lot of slower pace to it, which is good. Like don't I know some of you may have sighed when I said slower pace, but it's a good thing because you get to see Batman be an actual detective instead of just a dude who just runs around blowing up stuff and punching bad guys. While I love that stuff, it's good to see him be the world's greatest detective. He didn't get that moniker for no reason. He definitely is an awesome detective. Now, this particular movie takes place probably when Bruce was a little bit younger. He's not as seasoned as he was in the Tim Burton Batman movies or the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. He's a little bit younger, so he hasn't been doing it as long as he has in the other movies. So he isn't as experienced. He's still brilliant and he still does his thing and he's still really smart, but he still makes mistakes. And that's what I like. Flawed heroes are always great. It's like ones who have no flaws, like Captain Marvel and Rey from Star Wars. Like these heroes have no flaws, and it's hard to get behind them because even the new Mulan, she had no flaws, and that was the cool part about the cartoon version of Mulan. She had flaws, and she had to use intellect and skill to get to where she's going. I'm going on a tangent, nothing to do with Batman, but just using those things as a comparison. So this particular Batman is younger, a little bit less experienced, but he still has that Batman quality. Like he's still pretty dope. He still can fight. He still drives the cool car. He still does chase scenes. He still beats up bad guys, but it's just a little bit different. And I enjoyed it a lot. This particular world, I don't know, something about the way this film looked. I got like totally immersed into it. I didn't even realize this thing was almost 3 hours long. I knew it going in, but as I was watching it, I didn't realize it just because I got sucked into the world that they were presenting. Now, a lot of these locations are just, it's just New York, just with different names on the buildings instead of a whole different look like the Tim Burton Batman movies. Like he made those look industrial and almost steampunkish, like gritty, grimy, standard Tim Burton looking stuff. This particular one is pretty much New York City, just with different names on the buildings, like Gotham Square Garden. That's Madison Square Garden. Just stuff like that. And I loved it, and I really got sucked into the movie and the characters and just Bruce as a just it's different. It's Bruce is different. He's not the billionaire playboy that we're used to seeing. He's the I'm really messed up in the head, like my life sucks. The emo haircut almost looks like the bad Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. He had always wore black. He had the bang that would go over his eye, all that stuff. He just looked brooding and just unpleasant to be around. And he rarely came out as Bruce Wayne. So it was just really cool to see that difference in there because we're all used to the billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, but this one is a different take on it, and I liked it a lot. So we have other characters in there, like we have the Penguin, which I like how they did Penguin. He's not necessarily a short, round, penguin-like character. He didn't, because in Tim Burton's he had the flipper hands and all that stuff. None of that stuff here. He's just a almost like mafia type dude who is just ugly. He's an ugly dude, ugly fat dude, and they call him the Penguin because he has penguin-like qualities. We have the Riddler. This Riddler, man, this Riddler reminds me more of like a Jigsaw. Like he has a Jigsaw feel to it. And that's another thing about this movie. This movie reminds me a lot of Seven. And Seven is one of my personal favorite movies of all time. Like I could watch Seven over and over and over again. I know that's weird because most people think Seven is gross and a horrible movie to watch just because of the graphic violence and the crime scenes and stuff. But as a detective piece, that thing is amazing, and it just reminds me of it and how the Riddler goes about doing his crimes. And I don't know, I love this movie, and I can't praise it enough. There are some flaws to it. Don't get me wrong. There's some weird things. Like towards the end, it was just like that. The final third act was kind of weird to me. I mean, it was fine, but all acts 1 and 2 were just so great. When you get to the third act, it's just like I don't know why it shifted this way. It's fine. It's still fine. It's still an excellent movie. But just be warned, the third act is a little weird. And some of the decisions that were made by some of the characters was a little odd. But I mean, like I said, no movie is perfect. There are some that I feel that are near perfect, but this particular one is very, very good. It just has a few flaws, which is fine. But it's an excellent Batman movie. Excellent detective crime drama. And I liked Catwoman too. Catwoman, they don't call her Catwoman. She's just Selena Kyle in this, but she's played by Zoe Kravitz. And let me tell you, Zoe Kravitz, not only is she fine, she's really tiny. Like she's like super small. And it was weird to watch. And one thing that I was hoping they did not do, which they didn't, I didn't want them to make Zoe Kravitz like better than Batman. Lately, in a lot of these movies that we've been watching these days, they always like to take the male character that is the established, everybody's there to see them, knock them down a peg and deconstruct them to build up the female character. Happens all the time. Happens in Ant-Man and Wasp. It happens all over the place. This is just what happened. Even the latest James Bond movie, they do the same thing. So this particular one, I was nervous about it. I thought they were going to kind of focus more on Catwoman and make her better than Batman, and she wasn't. She was a excellent supporting character in this, and even her little side story was great. So I can't complain about this movie. This thing was great. So my suggestion to you is if you can go see it, go see it. It's definitely worth watching. And even when it comes out on video on demand and Blu-ray, I would suggest that you check it out. It's definitely worth watching. It definitely fits great in the upper echelon of Batman movies, in my opinion. And I think that's why you came here, is to get my opinion. But I feel that it's an excellent movie. From the cinematography, from the action sequences that they do have, to Robert Pattinson playing Batman / Bruce Wayne, I think everybody in this film did a great job. Everybody did a great job. Commissioner Gordon, like, it was just, everything was just so great. I got so immersed in this movie. Like, when it was over, it was like, oh snap, I'm like back in reality. I actually have to go out in the real world. I wanted to see what else happened. It was that good. So this movie gets a definite 2 thumbs up from the budget enthusiast. You should definitely go check it out. One of the best movies so far of 2022. I know it just got rolling, but it's definitely up there as one of my favorite movies of 2022 so far. So y'all do the normal thing. Stay safe out there. Peace. The budget enthusiast. enthusiast. The boy the budget enthusiast.